He left a legacy in the genre of nighttime whiplash interviews, but the original host of The Tonight Show left terrible scars on some of his guests. Find out those he disliked the most. Johnny wasn't ordinary. The boy from Iowa served in the Navy before venturing his way to stardom. He went into radio and television broadcasting. Then he was recognized as the master of ceremonies in many glamorous events wherein politicians and celebrities frequented. He entered the grand maze of Hollywood. The celebrity entertainer Jack Benny predicted that Johnny Carson would prove successful. From then on, he hosted many shows. Then NBC persuaded him to host Tonight. It was later changed to The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson in 1962. Over the years, he launched a lot of careers up the sky. Some of his most memorable guests turned celebrities were Joan Rivers, Robin Williams, Jerry Seinfeld, and Ellen DeGeneres. David Letterman and Jay Leno followed in his footsteps. In his later years, he was known by many to have a sly tongue on and off the show. He admitted that there were people he worked with for a long time that he didn't necessarily like. Rodney Dangerfield swept off his feet. He was in the show 70 times. He also became a regular in variety shows, such as The Ed Sullivan Show and The Dean Martin Show. Johnny Carson couldn't stand nor sit for his endless array of humor, but there were some jokes that thinly walked on broken glass. One night, the energetic comedian suddenly lost his gunshots of jokes. He paused to wipe his brow. Then he threw the ball at the host. "What's new with you?" Johnny Carson fell off his chair. Bob Hope could barely hold on. He was a total performer during his heyday with a career in the industry that lasted for over 80 years. He appeared in several films and was a frequent personality at major events. During the war in the 1940s, he supported the U.S. Armed Forces by going on tours to entertain the militia. Bob Hope also hosted the Academy Awards 19 times. In his prime years, the Hollywood veteran became a frequent guest for over 25 years in Johnny Carson's The Tonight Show. He had a comic ritual. It included his most notable song titled "Thanks for the Memory." He also delivered scripted gag lines and would only answer questions that were already pre-planned. Johnny Carson found the act to be redundant and outdated. The worsening status of his eyesight and hearing was made public. Johnny's nerves snapped. He blasted a half-truth joke to his staff that if he became like the old man, they should just end him. But the legend was just barely holding on to his remaining faculties. Despite all that, Johnny Carson gave his tribute to the man he once admired during Bob Hope's 90th birthday. Joan Rivers left her mentor. The versatile celebrity was revered in the industry as a female pioneer in comedy. She started as a stand-up performer. Then her breakthrough came in The Tonight Show. Johnny Carson was awed by her wit. He eventually announced to the world that his guest would be a star someday. He groomed and pruned the comic style of Joan Rivers. Then, in 1986, the mentor was shocked to learn that his protege accepted the offer from the rival network. They never spoke again. She went on to host The Late Show with Joan Rivers. She also hosted the 1989 The Joan Rivers Show. She was recognized as the brutal fashion police on E! Channel. She ventured into acting and the fashion business. The New York Times Magazine was right to describe her as the most intuitively witty woman ever. Rich Little got under his skin. If there's anyone who showed guts in making fun of the host of the show, it's no other than Rich Little. He had a regular slot in impersonating Johnny Carson. He performed the comical mannerisms and unusual habits of the main host. But soon, his gags hit hard. He was permanently removed and banned. Not only that, his career was deeply hurt within the industry. The host's attorney admitted that his impersonations got the best out of his client. The producer also felt it wasn't in their interest to hire him anymore. Well, even a celebrity just couldn't stand their mirror-like image.